A shocking transformation unfolds as one couple's daring bet leads to an unbelievable change. No eating out or drinking alcohol for an entire year, and the results are mind-blowing. Watch as this pair's challenge reshapes their lives and bodies in ways you won't believe. The zipper wouldn't budge as Lexi Reed struggled with her dress, tears of frustration welling in her eyes. At 485 pounds, she struggled to fit into any clothes, let alone the glamorous dress she'd dreamed of wearing to ring in the new year. As 2016 approached, her desire for change grew stronger than ever. "Danny," she called out to her husband, her voice trembling. "I can't do this anymore. We need to change." Danny shuffled into the bathroom, his 280-pound frame filling the doorway. He looked at his wife, concern etched across his face. "What do you mean, babe?" Lexi turned to him. "Look at us, Danny. All of this. I'm tired of feeling trapped in my own body. I want to live, really live." Danny's expression softened. He knew she was right. They'd avoided this conversation for years, but now, on the cusp of a new year, it seemed the weight of their situation had finally become too much to bear. "Okay," he said softly, pulling her into a hug. "Let's do it. Let's change our lives." As the clock struck midnight and fireworks lit up the sky outside their window, Lexi and Danny sealed their commitment with a kiss. But this wasn't just any New Year's resolution. This was a promise to each other, a vow to reclaim their lives from unhealthy habits and self-doubt. And you won't believe how they look now. The next morning, still groggy from their celebrations, the couple was jolted awake by a loud banging on their front door. Confused and slightly irritated, Danny stumbled to answer it, only to find their friends grinning mischievously on the other side. "Happy New Year, lovebirds!" they exclaimed, pushing past Danny into the living room. "We saw your little resolution on Instagram last night, and we have a proposition for you." Lexi emerged from the bedroom. "What are you talking about?" Their eyes sparkled with excitement. "We're talking about a bet, a challenge, if you will." Danny and Lexi exchanged nervous glances. Their friends were known for their wild ideas, and this one seemed no different. Their friends laid out the challenge dramatically. They wanted to help Lexi and Danny get healthy, but it wouldn't be easy. The rules were strict. For the next month, no eating out, no soda, no alcohol, and no cheat meals. Additionally, they had to work out for at least 30 minutes 5 times a week. Lexi was wary. The challenge seemed incredibly tough. She wasn't sure she could stick to such a strict routine for a whole month. Danny, on the other hand, got fired up and mainly focused on the reward. The stakes were high. Success meant a fully paid weekend getaway to a destination of their choice. On the other hand, failure would result in a month of servitude. Cooking, cleaning, and running errands for their friends. Lexi surprised everyone, including herself, by accepting the challenge with sudden conviction. Danny, bolstered by his wife's courage, squeezed her hand in solidarity and confidently agreed, playfully warning their friends to prepare for defeat. As their friends left, whooping and high-fiving each other, Lexi and Danny sat on their couch, the weight of their decision settling over them like a heavy blanket. "What have we gotten ourselves into?" Lexi whispered, fear creeping into her voice. Danny pulled her close, his own heart racing with a mix of excitement and terror. "I don't know, babe, but we're in this together, no matter what happens." The first week of their challenge was nothing short of hell. Lexi and Danny, accustomed to their nightly takeout rituals and weekend bar hopping, found themselves lost in their kitchen. The sight of vegetables in their fridge, purchased in a burst of optimism, now seemed like a cruel joke. "How are we supposed to make a meal out of kale?" Danny groaned, holding up a bunch of the leafy green with disdain. Lexi, equally perplexed, turned to their savior YouTube cooking tutorials. "We'll figure it out," she said, determination etched on her face. "We have to." Their first attempt at a healthy meal was a disaster. The kale turned out bitter, the chicken was overcooked, and the quinoa resembled birdseed more than a trendy grain. Something unexpected happened as they sat at their dining table, struggling to swallow their culinary creation. Laughter bubbled up between them. Lexi couldn't help but giggle as she spat out a mouthful of charred kale, commenting on their terrible cooking skills. Danny, his eyes watering from the overly spiced chicken, agreed wholeheartedly. He added that at least they were terrible at it together, making them laugh harder. This moment of shared joy amidst their kitchen catastrophe became a turning point. They realized that this challenging journey could also bring them closer, strengthening their bond in unexpected ways. The gym, however, proved to be an entirely different beast. When Lexi walked through those doors for the first time, she felt as if every eye was on her, judging and mocking. Most machines were too small for her frame, and the few she could use left her gasping for air after just a few minutes. After their first session, Lexi broke down, tears of frustration and shame welling in her eyes. She expressed her doubts to Danny, feeling too overweight and weak to continue, convinced it was a hopeless endeavor. But Danny, despite his struggles, refused to let her give up. He gently cupped her face, reminding her they weren't competing against anyone else. This journey was for them, for their future. His words, filled with love and encouragement, gave Lexi the strength to persevere. Day after day, workout after workout, they pushed through the pain, the embarrassment, and the self-doubt together. Lexi and Danny stood on their bathroom scales as the first month drew close, hearts pounding in anticipation. When the numbers flashed, their jaws dropped in disbelief. Lexi had lost 20 pounds, while Danny had shed 15. It wasn't a miraculous transformation, but tangible, undeniable progress. Lexi threw her arms around Danny, overwhelmed with joy, exclaiming their success. Their friends, true to their word, booked them a weekend getaway to a nearby spa resort. However, as Lexi and Danny packed their bags, they came to an important realization. They didn't want to stop. Lexi hesitantly suggested continuing their journey, not for a bet with their friends, but for themselves. Danny, smiling, pulled her close and agreed, expressing his desire to change their lives for good. And so, their one-month bet evolved into a year-long commitment without restaurants, alcohol, or any of the crutches they had relied on for so long. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were ready to face the challenge head-on together. Over time, Lexi and Danny changed both physically and mentally. They lost weight, but more importantly, their attitude improved. What began as an unpleasant task became a way of life they enjoyed. They started enjoying cooking healthy meals. Lexi became skilled at making nutritious versions of foods they loved. They often ate healthier alternatives like cauliflower pizza and vegetable noodles. Who knew vegetables could taste good? Danny marveled one evening, savoring a bite of Lexi's butternut squash mac and cheese. Lexi beamed, her confidence growing with each successful recipe. I think we might be turning into those health nuts we used to make fun of. But their journey wasn't without its challenges. The temptation to break their streak grew stronger as summer approached, bringing barbecues and beach parties. Their friends, while supportive, couldn't help but tease them. "Come on, guys," one of their friends cajoled at a 4th of July gathering, waving a juicy burger before them. "One little cheat day won't hurt. You've already come so far." Lexi and Danny exchanged glances, the smell of grilled meat making their mouths water. For a moment they wavered, but then Lexi straightened her spine, a fierce determination in her eyes. "Thanks, but no thanks," she said firmly. "We've got our food." She pulled out containers of grilled chicken and vegetable skewers, ignoring the playful groans from their friends. As they sat apart from the group, munching on their healthy alternatives, Danny couldn't help but feel a twinge of loneliness. "Do you ever miss it?" he asked quietly. "The old days, when we could just relax and not think about every bite?" Lexi paused, considering his words. "Sometimes," she admitted. "But then I remember how I felt, trapped in my body, afraid to live life to the fullest. I don't miss that at all." Her words struck a chord with Danny. He realized that while their old life had seemed easier, it had come at a great cost: their health, self-esteem, and dreams for the future. This new path, challenging as it was leading them towards the life they truly wanted. As summer turned to fall, their transformation became impossible to ignore. Lexi, once barely able to climb a flight of stairs, now easily bounded up them. Danny, who used to shy away from physical activities, found himself looking forward to their daily workouts. Inspired by their progress, Lexi decided to document their journey, creating an Instagram account called Fat Girl Fed Up, which quickly gained a loyal following. Their before and after photos on Fat Girl Fed Up told a story of determination and success, inspiring others to embark on their health journeys. But it wasn't just their bodies that were changing. Their relationship, too, had evolved. The hours spent cooking together, encouraging each other at the gym, and facing challenges had strengthened their bond in ways they never expected. "You know," Lexi said one evening as they took a post-dinner walk around their neighborhood, something that would have been unthinkable a year ago, "I feel like I'm falling in love with you again." Danny squeezed her hand, his heart swelling with emotion. "I know exactly what you mean. It's like we're rediscovering each other and ourselves." As winter approached, bringing with it the anniversary of their life-changing bet, Lexi and Danny faced an unexpected challenge. The holidays loomed, promising a minefield of temptations and potential setbacks. "Maybe we could relax a little," Danny suggested tentatively as they planned their Thanksgiving menu. "You know, have a small slice of pumpkin pie, a glass of wine. We've earned it, right?" Lexi bit her lip, torn between the desire to indulge and the fear of undoing all their hard work. "I don't know, Danny. What if it sets us back? What if we can't stop at just one slice?" Their dilemma reflected a larger question brewing beneath the surface. How do they maintain this new lifestyle without feeling deprived? How do they find balance in a world designed to derail their progress? The answer came from an unexpected source. While scrolling through her growing Instagram page, which had amassed over 500,000 followers, Lexi stumbled upon a comment that struck a chord. "Your journey is inspiring," the follower wrote, "but health isn't just about the body. It's about the mind and soul too. Don't forget to nourish those as well." Those words echoed in Lexi's mind as she and Danny prepared for their family Thanksgiving gathering. After much discussion and soul-searching, they approached the holiday with a new mindset. They would allow themselves small indulgences, savoring every bite, but more importantly, they would focus on the joy of being with loved ones. As they sat around the table, surrounded by family and friends, Lexi raised her glass of sparkling water. "I'd like to make a toast," she said, her voice trembling slightly with emotion. "A year ago, Danny and I embarked on this crazy journey. We thought we were just trying to lose weight, but we've gained so much more. We've gained health, confidence, and a deeper love for each other. But most importantly, we've gained perspective." She paused, looking around at the faces of those she held dear. "We've learned that true health isn't about deprivation or punishment. It's about making choices that nourish our bodies and our souls. So today, we're choosing to nourish our souls by sharing this meal with all of you." As murmurs of agreement and clinking glasses filled the room, Danny squeezed Lexi's hand under the table, his eyes shining with pride and love. A year after making their bet, Lexi and Danny looked at themselves in the mirror again. They were amazed by the changes. Lexi had lost over 300 pounds, going from 485 to 173. Danny had lost 90 pounds, dropping from 280 to 190. But their physical changes weren't the only difference. They looked happier, more confident, and healthier overall. They felt like they had taken control of their lives. "We did it," Lexi whispered, tears streaming down her face. "We did it!" Danny pulled her close, marveling at how his arms could now wrap completely around her. "We sure did, babe, but you know what? I have a feeling this is just the beginning." In the following months, Lexi and Danny's story took on a life of its own. Their Instagram following exploded, with over 1 million followers drawing inspiration from their journey. They were featured on talk shows, invited to speak at health conferences, and even landed a book deal to share their story with the world. But amidst the whirlwind of their newfound fame, they never lost sight of what truly mattered: their health, happiness, and each other. A couple of months later, Lexi and Danny found themselves standing at the entrance to Universal Studios, their eyes wide with wonder. The familiar Harry Potter theme music filled the air, and the sight of Hogwarts Castle in the distance made Lexi's heart skip a beat. "I can't believe we're here," she breathed, squeezing Danny's hand tightly. As they made their way through the park, they marveled at how different the experience was from what they had imagined a year ago. They rode every ride, explored every nook and cranny, and even indulged in a butterbeer, a treat they had budgeted for in their new, balanced approach to nutrition. But the true magic of the moment came when they reached the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey ride. Lexi hesitated for a moment, old fears creeping in. What if I still don't fit?" she whispered to Danny, voicing the insecurity that had plagued her for so long. Danny smiled reassuringly, guiding her towards the ride entrance. "There's only one way to find out," he said gently. Lexi took a deep breath as they approached the seat and lowered herself. The safety bar came down easily, clicking into place with room to spare. Tears of joy streamed down her face as she turned to Danny, who was beaming with pride. "We did it," she said, echoing their words on that transformative New Year's Eve. "We did it." As the ride took off, sending them soaring through the magical world of Harry Potter, Lexi and Danny felt a sense of exhilaration that went far beyond the thrill of the ride. They had overcome their most significant obstacles, faced their deepest fears, and emerged stronger than ever. Back home, as they scrolled through the countless photos from their trip, Lexi couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. "You know," she mused, "a year ago, I never would have believed this was possible. Not just the weight loss, but everything. The confidence, the adventures, the joy." Danny nodded, pulling her close. "It's pretty incredible. But you know what amazes me the most?" "What's that?" Lexi asked, looking up at him curiously. "That through it all, the tough workouts, the diet changes, the temptations, we did it together. We're stronger as a team than we ever were apart." Lexi smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. "You're right. This journey wasn't just about losing weight. It was about gaining a whole new life together." In 2018, the media caught wind of their story once again. Talk show invitations flooded in and health magazines clamored for interviews. However, the pinnacle of their newfound fame came when L'Oréal Paris and TNT Drama recognized Lexi as one of their strong and inspiring women. In a twist that would have seemed impossible just a year ago, they invited her to attend the 2018 Screen Actors Guild Awards show. This is how she looked at the event, as Lexi stood on the red carpet, resplendent in a gown that showcased her transformed figure. She couldn't help but marvel at the journey that had brought her here. From struggling to find a wedding dress that fit to now being celebrated as a beacon of strength and inspiration, the contrast was overwhelming. Danny, dapper in his tuxedo, stood by her side, beaming with pride. As cameras flashed and reporters asked questions, he leaned in and whispered, "You did it, babe. You're showing the world that anything is possible." Lexi squeezed his hand, her eyes glistening with tears of joy. "We did it," she corrected him. "We're showing the world what's possible when you have love, determination, and a crazy bet." If you were to make a life-changing bet with yourself today, what would it be? And how would it transform your life? Who knows? Your story could be the next one we share. If Lexi and Danny's story has inspired you, show your support by liking this video and subscribing to our channel.